Welcome to another deep dive. This time, it's Michelle Obama, and we're going way beyond the usual, headlines and sound bites.
Definitely.
Starting with her childhood in Chicago, then her incredible education.
All the way to her time as First Lady, of course.
Right. But here's the thing that I think is so interesting about this. What can we learn from Michelle Obama's journey that goes beyond the typical, the surface level stuff?
Yeah, what I think is so fascinating about her story is it really does embody the American dream, but with twists and turns that you might not expect.
Right.
We're talking resilience, breaking barriers, and really how she used her platform to champion so many causes that were so close to her heart.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go all the way back to the beginning, like her roots.
Right.
Michelle was born in Chicago in 1964, raised in what she calls a conventional home on the South Side. Education was super important to her parents. And get this, both Michelle and her brother, Craig, actually skipped second grade.
Wow.
That's a pretty big deal, early emphasis on education.
Yeah, it speaks volumes, especially considering, the historical context.
Right.
Her family's history is, it's really deeply intertwined with the African-American experience in the South. Her great-great-grandfather on her father's side was born into slavery in South Carolina.
Wow.
So, there's this incredible legacy of strength and perseverance woven into a story from the very beginning.
It's amazing how those early experiences really shape us. And for Michelle, it wasn't just about academic success, Her father, Fraser, battled multiple sclerosis throughout her childhood, and she's talked about how, witnessing his struggle really fueled her own drive.
It's more than just drive, though. It's about shaping values,
Right.
Facing those kinds of challenges early on often instills a sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
A need to make things better.
Yeah.
And you can really see that thread, I think, throughout Michelle's life.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Now imagine this. Okay, so some high school teachers, they actually tried to discourage her from even applying to Princeton.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's that's a pretty stark reminder of the systemic barriers that existed back then.
Yeah.
And honestly, still exist today.
Yeah.
Especially regarding access to higher education.
Right.
It's not just about being smart enough.
Right.
It's about overcoming these obstacles that so many people, face.
Absolutely.
And Michelle, she didn't just get into Princeton, she thrived there.
Oh, yeah.
Graduated cum laude. I mean, talk about determination.
It really shows you what's possible when you set your mind to something. And she didn't stop at Princeton. She went on to Harvard Law School. So that makes her the first lady to hold a postgraduate degree, which is incredible.
That's amazing.
But going back to her time at Princeton, her sociology thesis has always intrigued me. It was titled Princeton Educated Blacks in the Black Community. It was exploring themes of racial identity, belonging, and I wonder how her own experiences at Princeton informed that work.
That's a great point. She has been candid about feeling like an outsider at times, despite, the amazing academic opportunities there.
Yeah.
And it's a feeling that, many minorities experience in predominantly white institutions.
Yeah.
The economic differences she saw compared to her upbringing likely played a role too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about race, it was also about socioeconomic disparities and how those shape our perceptions of the world.
Right. Okay, so now let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
To the love story.
A love story.
So Michelle is working at this prestigious law firm, Sidley Austin, when in walks a young Barack Obama as a summer associate.
Oh, wow.
And guess what? She's assigned to mentor him.
Talk about a meet cute with huge implications.
Huge.
What's interesting to me isn't just the opposites attract aspect that that Barack himself has described.
Yeah.
It's think about how their differences actually worked.
Right.
Michelle, very grounded and stable, while Barack was, shall we say, a little more adventurous back then.
A little bit, yeah.
But it wasn't just about balancing each other out.
Right.
It's about how their individual strengths really created this power couple dynamic that we see unfold over time.
Yeah.
So they married in 1992, And let's be honest, balancing a family with a growing political career,
Oh, yeah.
that's not easy for anyone.
No, not at all. It makes you wonder how they navigated those early years, especially with Michelle initially having reservations about, the impact politics might have on their daughters, Malia and Sasha.
That's a dilemma that so many families face.
Yeah.
Ambition versus personal life, it's a constant balancing act.
Right.
And remember, Michelle had a successful career of her own, long before the White House.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of which, her dedication to public service started way back in Chicago. She held roles in the city government, then really made a mark in the nonprofit sector.
Yeah.
At Public Allies, she smashed fundraising records that stood for years.
What I find so impressive is the consistency of her focus.
Yeah.
It's always been about community engagement, about empowering others.
Right.
From her early days at Public Allies, where she was, helping young people find their path in social justice work,
Yeah.
to her roles at the University of Chicago, developing the Community Service Center, and later working at the University of Chicago hospitals.
Right.
Her commitment to making a tangible impact is undeniable.
It's a reminder that Michelle Obama's story isn't just about being First Lady.
Right.
Or even being Barack Obama's wife.
Exactly.
It's about a woman who was driven to create change long before the national stage.
Exactly. Her career was already, so impressive, focused on, improving lives at a local level. But then comes the shift to the national stage, the campaign trail.
Right.
And eventually the White House. That's where things get really interesting.
You're right, because now we're not just talking about community work, we're talking about shaping, national conversations.
Right.
And facing a whole new level of scrutiny.
Absolutely. And that's a crucial turning point.
Yeah.
How do you maintain your own identity, your own values, when you're suddenly thrust into this incredibly public role?
Well, let's dive into that, because the campaign trail is where we see Michelle's style really evolve. It wasn't just about, standing by her husband.
Right.
She had to become a force in her own right. And that meant navigating some really tricky waters.
Yeah, it's fascinating how she had to balance strength and grace while combating stereotypes, especially those rooted in that angry black woman trope.
Oh, that label, it's so loaded, isn't it? It's not just a criticism, it's like a way to silence diminish black women who dare to, speak out.
Exactly. It taps into this long history of, racist and sexist imagery, trying to paint strong black women as threatening or out of control.
Yeah, yeah.
Michelle, she faced that head on. She didn't shy away from expressing her opinions, but also made sure to, connect with people authentically.
Yeah.
Show her warmth and humor.
Yeah. She really had to walk this tightrope. And remember those comments she made back in 2008 about being proud of her country for the first time after Barack won the Iowa caucuses?
Oh, right, yeah.
That was taken so out of context.
Oh, absolutely.
And twisted into something it wasn't.
It's a classic example of how media can manipulate a single phrase to fit a pre-existing narrative.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to women of color in the public eye.
Yeah.
It ignores the full context of her speech, where she was talking about, hope and unity.
Right.
Michelle later clarified, saying she'd always loved her country.
Yeah.
But Barack's campaign, it had ignited this new sense of optimism for what America could be.
Yeah, it shows how easy it is to misinterpret someone's words, especially when those words are, filtered through the lens of pre-existing biases.
It's a reminder to be, critical consumers of information.
Right.
And to consider the full context before jumping to conclusions.
Absolutely. And once she became First Lady, she didn't just play a ceremonial role.
Oh, no, not at all.
She took on some big issues.
Yeah, her initiatives went beyond the traditional, let's move.
Yeah.
Is probably the best known.
Yeah.
Tackling the complex problem of childhood obesity.
Right.
But it's easy to forget the context. Childhood obesity rates, they've been skyrocketing for years.
Yeah.
With serious health implications. Michelle, she wasn't just advocating for healthier lunches. She was trying to shift the entire conversation around food, nutrition, and physical activity.
Right, and she got some flack for that, right?
Oh.
Some people thought, she was overstepping the boundaries of the First Lady role, getting too involved in policy.
Yeah, there's always that debate about, how active a president's spouse should be.
Yeah.
But Michelle's initiatives, whether it was let's move, reach higher for education, let girls learn globally, or joining forces for military families,
Right.
they addressed real problems impacting millions of people.
Yeah.
She wasn't just talking about change, she was driving it.
And it's not like those were her only focus areas.
No, not at all.
She championed working women, promoted national service, all while dealing with the constant media scrutiny that comes with, being First Lady.
That's a crucial point. It would have been easy to get bogged down in the symbolic aspects of the role. But Michelle, she used her platform to advocate for tangible change.
Yeah.
It's about substance over style.
Right.
Even though, she did rock some amazing outfits.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Let's talk about that for a second.
yeah, okay.
The media was obsessed with her fashion choices.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Constantly comparing her to Jackie Kennedy or Barbara Bush.
Right.
But amidst all that, she never lost sight of the issues.
It's a double-edged sword. Fashion can be a powerful tool for communication, and Michelle, she used it strategically.
Yeah.
Mixing high-end designers with more affordable brands, promoting accessibility and inclusivity.
Yeah.
But it also highlights the challenge for women in the public eye.
Yeah.
Their appearance is often scrutinized more than their ideas.
She even called out the media for focusing more on her wardrobe than her work.
Right.
But at the end of the day, her intelligence, commitment to service, advocacy, those are the things that really defined her time as First Lady.
And that's reflected in her enduring popularity. Topping the Gallup poll for most admired woman for 3 years straight.
Wow.
That's not just about fashion. It's about connecting with people on a deeper level.
Okay, so we've seen Michelle as a lawyer, community activist, campaigner, First Lady, but life after the White House has been just as impactful, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Leaving the White House didn't mean stepping back from public life for her.
Right.
Her memoir, Becoming, was a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
Selling over 10 million copies in its first year, becoming a Netflix documentary.
Right.
It provided this intimate look into her life, her struggles, her triumphs.
And her second book, The Light We Carry, took a different approach, right?
Yeah.
It offered practical guidance on navigating uncertainty, building resilience. It felt like a natural progression,
Yeah.
Sharing the lessons she'd learned and offering tools for others to find their own strength. And let's not forget her podcast, the Michelle Obama podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's been praised for, its thoughtful conversations on family, relationships, race, social justice.
It really did.
It just shows her ongoing commitment to using her platform to engage in meaningful dialogue.
Yeah.
And amplify diverse voices.
It seems like she's found this great balance between sharing her personal experiences and using her platform to address broader societal issues.
Yeah, but amidst all of this, there's one role that often gets overshadowed, I think.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
We talk about her accomplishments, her public persona, but we often forget about Michelle Obama, the mother.
Exactly, yeah. From the very beginning, she made it clear that her daughters, Malia and Sasha, were her priority, even with the demands of, a political career. She was determined to create a stable and loving environment for them.
Right. Remember that deal she made with Barack? He had to quit smoking if she was going to support his presidential run.
Right.
But that wasn't just about his health. It was about setting a good example for their daughters. It showed her unwavering commitment to their well-being.
And then there's the White House years. Imagine trying to raise kids in the world's most famous house.
Right, exactly.
Michelle insisted on normalcy.
Yeah.
Homework, chores, extracurricular activities, just like any other family. It couldn't have been easy with the constant scrutiny.
Yeah.
But she really shielded them from the pressures of fame.
And it seems like that approach paid off.
Yeah.
Malia and Sasha have grown into accomplished young women.
Yeah.
Attending prestigious universities, pursuing their passions, speaking out on issues that matter to them.
It's a testament to the values that Michelle and Barack instilled in them.
Right.
Hard work, service, integrity. But Michelle's influence as a mother goes beyond her own daughters. She's become a role model for parents around the world.
Oh, absolutely. She's incredibly relatable.
Mm-hmm.
She's spoken openly about the challenges of raising kids, from fostering resilience to navigating the world of social media.
Yeah.
It's not about pretending to have all the answers.
Right.
It's about being honest about the struggles.
Yeah.
And sharing what she's learned along the way.
Yeah, and she doesn't shy away from tough conversations either.
Yeah.
She talks about the importance of addressing, race and social justice with children, creating a home environment that's inclusive and supportive.
Mm-hmm.
It's about raising kids who are, aware of the world around them and prepared to make a difference.
It's refreshing to see that honesty and vulnerability.
Yeah.
Especially from someone in such a public position.
Right. But there's another relationship that's been central to Michelle's journey, one that deserves its own spotlight.
You're talking about her partnership with Barack, right?
Yeah. They've been together for over 3 decades.
Wow.
Weathering the storms of a political career, raising a family, navigating the intense pressure of public life.
Yeah, it's a partnership that's captivated the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot we can learn from their dynamics.
Yeah.
Both the challenges they've faced and the strengths they've demonstrated.
From the moment they met at that Chicago law firm, there was a spark. They were drawn to each other's intelligence, humor, and shared commitment to making a difference. But their path wasn't always smooth.
No, Barack's ambition and political aspirations, put a strain on their marriage, especially in those early years.
Yeah. Remember those scheduled date nights?
Oh yeah.
Just to carve out time for each other.
It's a reminder that even the most successful couples, they have to work at maintaining their connection amidst life's demands.
Absolutely. And then there was Michelle's initial reluctance towards Barack's political ambitions.
Right.
She was concerned about the impact on their family, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
It shows that she wasn't just, blindly following his lead.
Right.
She was a partner with her own voice and concerns.
It's a testament to their communication and mutual respect that they were able to navigate those differences and find a path forward together.
Yeah. And as Barack's career, took off, Michelle had to adapt to a new role, one that came with constant scrutiny.
Oh yeah.
She was thrust into the spotlight, her every word and action analyzed and often criticized. But she handled it with incredible grace and dignity, always standing by her husband's side while carving out her own space and pursuing her own passions.
Their partnership extended, beyond the personal.
Yeah.
They became a powerful team working together to achieve their shared goals.
Yeah.
Remember Michelle's role in Barack's presidential campaigns?
Oh yeah.
I mean, she was a force to be reckoned with, delivering these rousing speeches, connecting with voters on an emotional level, and challenging the stereotypes that were often projected onto her.
And once in the White House, their support for each other, continued.
Oh yeah.
Michelle was a constant source of strength for Barack, offering advice, perspective, a listening ear. And Barack, in turn, championed Michelle's initiatives,
Right.
recognizing the importance of her work and the impact she was having.
Their relationship is a testament to the power of partnership.
Yeah.
The importance of shared values and the enduring strength of love and commitment.
Absolutely. And even after leaving the White House,
Yeah.
they've continued to support each other, both in their individual pursuits
Right.
and in their shared commitment to making a difference. They've written books, launched podcasts, founded the Obama Foundation, all while remaining devoted to each other and their family.
It's a partnership that's inspired the world.
Yeah.
It shows that it's possible to achieve great things while maintaining a strong and loving relationship.
Right.
It's a reminder that that love, respect, and shared purpose can be the foundation for something truly remarkable.
Absolutely. But beyond their personal relationship, I think it's important to acknowledge the impact they've had on a much larger scale.
You're talking about their impact on American culture and on the world stage, right?
Yeah. Their presidency was a watershed moment in history. It signaled a shift in attitudes and a recognition of the changing face of America.
Yes.
It really was. Exactly. The election of the first Black president and First Lady, it was a powerful symbol of hope and progress. It was a sign that America was finally living up to its ideals of equality and opportunity. Even if the journey towards fully realizing those ideals was far from over.
Right, and their time in the White House was marked by this sense of optimism.
Yeah.
A belief that we could come together as a nation to tackle our challenges. Remember Barack's campaign slogan, "Yes, we can."
Oh yeah.
It was a call to action, a reminder that we're capable of achieving great things when we work together.
And Michelle's message of hope and resilience resonated, far beyond America's borders.
Absolutely.
She became an icon, a symbol of strength and grace, an inspiration to countless people, especially, young women and girls, proving that anything is possible if you set your mind to it.
Their impact went beyond policy and politics.
Yeah.
They changed the conversation about race and identity.
Yeah.
Challenged stereotypes and broadened our understanding of what's possible. They showed that America is a nation of diverse and talented people,
Right.
capable of achieving great things when we embrace our differences and work together.
Their legacy of hope and progress, it continues to inspire and challenge us today.
It does.
But there's one more aspect of Michelle Obama's life that I think is worth exploring before we wrap up.
Okay.
It's something that often gets overlooked, but it's deeply intertwined with her personal and public journey.
I'm intrigued. What are you thinking of?
It's her relationship with food. Think about it. From her childhood in Chicago to her initiatives as First Lady and beyond, food has played a significant role in shaping her message and her impact. You're right. I hadn't really connected those dots before, but food has been this constant, throughout her life. Her book, American Grown, comes to mind.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just about the White House kitchen garden.
Right.
It was about the power of food to connect people, nourish us, and even create a more just and sustainable world.
It's easy to dismiss that as just another celebrity cookbook.
Right.
But it went deeper than that.
Yeah.
Michelle's passion for healthy eating, it wasn't a fad. It was rooted in her understanding of the systemic issues that contribute to unhealthy habits.
Right.
Think food deserts, lack of access to affordable produce, the relentless marketing of junk food to kids, especially in communities of color.
And she didn't shy away from the controversy either.
No.
Her Let's Move campaign, it took on childhood obesity head on, and she definitely got some pushback.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I remember those memes about her trying to take away our French fries.
There's always resistance to change, especially when it comes to something as personal as food.
Right.
But she was persistent. She used humor and relatable stories to get her message across.
Yeah.
Remember her appearances on, cooking shows, planting that White House garden.
Oh yeah.
Inviting school children to help harvest vegetables.
Right.
She was making healthy eating fun and accessible.
It wasn't just about telling people what to eat, though.
Right.
She was trying to shift the entire conversation around food, highlighting the connection between what we eat and our health, advocating for policies to make healthy food more affordable and available to everyone. She elevated it to a social justice issue.
Exactly. She recognized that access to nutritious food is directly linked to race, class, and inequality. Her work in this area was groundbreaking.
Yep.
And continues to influence food policy discussions today.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Michelle Obama's life, it's fitting that we end on this note.
Yeah.
Her relationship with food, it really does encapsulate her broader message of service, community, and creating a better world one bite at a time.
It's a reminder that the personal is often political.
Yeah.
And that even seemingly small choices,
Right.
like what we eat, can contribute to larger societal change.
I think that's a great takeaway for our listeners.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama's journey, it's been about breaking barriers, using her platform for good, showing us the power of authenticity and resilience.
It's a story that continues to inspire, and her impact will undoubtedly be felt for generations to come. You might be surprised by what you discover.
Until next time, keep exploring.